Good morning. Welcome back to Everyday Struggle. Nadeska here with DJ Akademiks and Wayno. The team's still asleep this morning. I'm not gonna lie, man.
I'm up.
I'm up, man. I'm up.
I'm
You
here.
sure?
Yeah. What's up with y'all, man? What's good?
What's up, act what that red be like, man.
Listen, man, I try, man. I try.
Try what? Quentin Miller came by yesterday. How was that, Act? You had a lot of questions for him right off the bat. You feel like you learned anything? You got perspective? You got some answers to all the pressing questions you had?
No. I don't think I got. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. He's a good tap dancer. But, it was good to see him in person. I think, I like, just seeing him and talking to him, you kind of get a sense of humbleness and probably just kind of see, how much he's been through, and you could just see, you could see it from just his presence. So, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of gave me some empathy for him. Mm-hmm. And I do wish the best for him.
Yeah, he's a very cool brother. I call him a Euro stepper. Because I feel like a lot of the things in his career haven't taken off because he hasn't been honest about what he's going through, because he hasn't really talked about it. I mean, like, I don't think in a bad way. Like, we had our fun moments and our jokes with him, but I think that he still avoided it just to promote the tape. And the thing is that you got to accept the fact that everybody's into you because of what you was a part of. So you got to live that truth and get on from it. But until he's able to express that shit, it's going to make people disengage with his music a bit, you know?
Yeah, and you know what, like, it's a weird thing with him where, like, when I'm talking to him and when I've heard him talk, it feels like he wants to say something that he's not saying.
Yeah.
But perhaps maybe that is his truth. Like, maybe whatever he's saying, maybe we're just trying to hear something else that is just not true. You get me? Like, maybe like, in our minds, we were like, nah, man, you want to.
Well, or he doesn't want to tell us because he thinks it's going to have repercussions for him again because he can't seem to escape the struggle.
Well, I did find out that Drama only had Rico. So all them other tracks came out some way. Drama only had the Rico track. He didn't have all those other tracks.
Drama leaked Rico. And
that's the only one that's the only one Drama had.
Wait, no, it's like, I didn't say that.
That's the only one Drama had.
Let's not get back down into this, like.
I mean, it's an old issue, but like I said, I just feel like, you know, it was good to meet him. You know, it was good to meet him.
I'm not well. If I was listening to the demeanor, and by the way, he wasn't too direct. I didn't like what he did with the Meek thing. He should just say yes or no. When I said, did Meek ask for you to help him with writing? Mm-hmm. Because you know what? Just as a fan and someone who looks at Meek as someone who's a spitter, you know what I mean? I feel like Meek, that's like below Meek. But even for you to allude to it, you know what I mean? It makes a situation that's dead, like you still kind of, like, you know what I mean? If it's a yes, you'd be like, yeah. You can just say yes,
like, nah.
It happened, it's behind us.
Yeah.
But when you're like, I don't know. I feel like you could have answered that better.
Okay. Yeah, shouts out to him for coming through.
Yeah, fair enough.
So what other reference tracks coming from, bro?
That's what I'm saying. So
Quentin did the leaking?
Listen, I don't know if he did. All I know is Drama had I heard that Drama only had one, so right. Yeah, we gonna leave that alone.
It's done. Much love to Quentin Miller. He does seem like a very, very nice guy.
What's the name of his shit?
QM.
QM out now.
Yo, I will say, listen. I'm gonna give y'all one recommendation. If y'all gonna check out the tape, listen to the song Bank. That song is fire. Trust me, it would be a #1 song if Drake sung it. But it's still hot. No, it's not even hate. Yo, why people think that's hate? It's
not that it's hate, even if you have
it would be a #1 song if the most popular guy sung it, but it's still a hot song that you sung it. It's just not gonna chart, just because you're not Drake.
It's like you're cute if. Like, you know what I mean?
You have a way with words. Can
yeah.
you leave it at that?
You do, and your way with words is kind of crazy.
But it's okay. It's what makes you special.
So good. He has a zipper on his jacket and all that shit. 2 zippers at that.
I just try to help Quentin Miller out. That monotone conversation we had, like, I was a little bit, like, shocked that he felt like he never saw that before. I'm like, the whole internet been saying that. I hate when rappers or anyone come up here, and I know sometimes the way I put it down is a little bit, like,
sometimes
just blunt and in your face, but this is what everybody been saying.
But sometimes you fuel it, Ak. You know that, right? Like,
right.
when you shine a light on something negative like that, more people run with it.
Google Quentin Miller monotone. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just like, I hear the same thing a lot of people hear.
He'll get the right collab. He's gonna be all right. Again, shout out to Quentin Miller.
shout
Let's
out to
move
that
on.
man.
Let's move on
shout out
to
to
some
that man.
potentially, hopefully good news from Meek Mill. So we know he was back in court recently trying to get his trial thrown out. The Judge Genece Brinkley denied him a new trial, but now there's an audio recording which leaked. This was recorded in May. TMZ leaked it, and we hear her own lawyer saying that Meek deserved to get a new trial. Let's listen.
Defending this judge, she didn't have to come back. Prosecution, which I think great, but goodbye. See you later. That's ridiculous. The best case that happened at Brian. You know what I mean? You're doing the right side, representing a defendant. We always defend a defendant. I represent the judge, and I'm on the wrong side.
All right, so that was Charles Peruto basically saying that if he were the judge on this case, he'd actually let it go because both the prosecution and the defense agree that a new trial should be granted. He says that she looks, quote, fucking awful. So, of course, Meek did respond. He posted the video. He says, everybody knows what's going on. You can't make this stuff up. This is the same lawyer that came to see me and discuss my case before he became the judge's lawyer. Is there any reason to not believe Meek now that this is out?
I believe him, but it's like, at this point, we see clearly that she has like a personal vendetta. Like, it's personal. It has nothing to do with his actions and none of that shit. It's like for this to come out, for the lawyer of the judge to say something like that.
To
like,
say that she looks crazy.
To say she looks fucking awful. Like, it's like, what more do you need? But it seems like she's trying to ride into the sunset with her vendetta with this shit. Like, she's not going to give up one way or another. I think she's having like an ego trip at this point, like a very big ego trip. And it's at the detriment of somebody's freedom.
Right.
That's the fucked up thing about it. Of one person's freedom, that affects a lot of other people's livelihood.
It's true.
So it's like...
And at this point, yeah, she could continue to not, but now it's pretty clear. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, for the judge, clearly this is the make or break for her career. And, I mean, this is just another highlight of that reason, because she's going down with this fight no matter how it goes. She don't care about rallies. She don't care if Meek got the governor. She don't care if Meek got other judges, other lawyers, the DA's office, the goddamn
entire
mayor.
city, right?
Nobody. She doesn't care who Meek has on his side. She is going down with this fight. And I think this kind of makes her plight look a little worse, because she was even arming up to say, hey, Meek, you're twisting public perception of this whole entire case, and because you're doing that, you're helping to ruin my career by defaming me. Because remember, she came out, she said, yo, I didn't ask you to go record no song called On Bended Knees. Get the fuck out of here. We're about to sue you, Meek, right? And to see her lawyer just basically saying, I feel like, and the lawyer kept saying, like, this was part of the extended quote, right? It's like, I feel like I'm defending the wrong defendant. Do you get me? Basically saying that being on the judge's side, you're defending the person who's in the wrong, and for once, defending the person who's the defendant, quote unquote, is actually right. So again, it's another indictment on the judge and like her personal bias against Meek. Again, still doesn't help Meek out, because this just went to the Supreme Court and they denied it, or they said they didn't have authority. That's what they said. We don't have authority to take her off the case. So again, while they still try to work through these measures of trying to get this judge out of here, she's not going to recuse herself. She's not going to cut him a break. She might send him back to jail again. She's probably waiting and probably hoping for something else that he does in the interim to validate her saying, hey, I was right all along. That's one of those people. Be like, hey, I was right all along. Look, see, we got him again. And I think it's rather unfortunate. I don't know why, and like, I remember when I did speak to Meek's team, like when they were getting violated supposedly for like a dirty urine test, they explained to me like, yo, they're from the same neighborhood. And the judge knows people that are connected to Meek, like just growing up. I'm not too sure if she knew Meek directly.
Wow.
Could there be something that happened back in the day? Could it be like some personal relationships? One would have to assume so, because it's no way you just see someone, and I get it, sometimes that celebrity status you might feel like it's maybe it's a power trip where you want to just keep your foot on that person's, but it got to be something personal where you're definitely trying to ruin it.
And this is like, you know, everybody who goes to prison is not a Meek Mill situation. This
Right.
is a very particular situation, but this is why, like, the judicial system is so broken and it tears apart so many different families and so many different parts of our community, because if probation or him going to prison was about rehabilitation, at Meek, when he caught that case, to Meek now is a totally different person. And yeah, he had his, you know, his ups and his downs, his bumps along the way, but he totally changed his life. I think because he's a rapper, it's only because he's a rapper he's going through this shit. Because if he was working for FedEx or UPS or any other company, and he changed his life and he needed to travel and he needed to do all these things, and he may have had a mistake or two, they'd be more lenient, right? Because he's an artist and this is a high profile case, and media is a big part of the judicial system as well. That's why, like with George, they tell him, oh, don't read the newspaper, but and all this other stuff. But now you can't get away from what you have to make decisions on as far as like being a part of the judicial system. So hopefully, if Meek can get through this, they can figure out new legislation to change a lot of this shit. Because like I said, if he was any type of other person that wasn't in entertainment and didn't come from the hood or whatever, I don't think he'd be getting treated like this.
Yeah, people don't believe in the justice system already. So this,
Right.
if they don't
I
fix
actually disagree with that. I actually think if it was anybody else, he's been in jail. Like they're definitely not thinking about retrying him, number one, because they're gonna say that's way too much money.
But not getting in trouble. Like, I don't mean to cut you off, Ak, but look, he hasn't gotten in trouble. He hasn't committed a crime since he was put on probation. He hasn't committed a crime. Now, what I'm saying is, if you haven't been convicted of committing a crime, if you haven't committed a crime, I know people who got probation that was supposed to be on probation for 5 years, and because they kept a straight line for 1 year, they was taken off probation.
Okay, and this is exactly what I'm saying, right? Philly.com, they ran an article on this, and that's why at first I was kind of really critical until really this last stretch, probably last 6 months, because the reason why she does have a leg to stand on, and that's why Meek, I think even he acknowledges it, that like he is in a very preferred position where not only could he pay for all these lawyers, but he's getting this much support, and I do believe that's the reason why he's free. That's what I'm saying. If he wasn't,
Or if he didn't have the
up,
bread that
just
he has,
been
I get that. I get what you're saying.
because he technically, there's 6 violations. There are 5 to 6 violations that the judge said, yo, you violated your probation. Anybody else in Philly, they're throwing the book at you. You're not a regular person violating 6 times,
Right.
and you're still out here, and you go to jail, and they get you out of jail. No,
There's no one rallying for
you're
you.
You're going to 2 to 4. You're going
Right.
to 2 to 4. Let's go upstate. Go do your sentence. You can't abide by it.
Okay.
Now, when Meek was messing up, I understand, and he did go in and out the system, but it's clear in the last like year or so that this woman is trying to prolong this thing.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years. The last time when she sent him back to jail, she added 2 more years to his probation. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Right? Like, what are we doing here? It's clear, like this probation, which if we think about this incarceration, whatever these systems are, it's supposed to help people. It's rehabilitation, right?
So-called.
Not really though, like
Yeah,
not
it's
at all.
not.
Like
But
we know that
that's
it's a
what they
money-making
claim it
system,
is,
right?
That's what they claim it is. But part of that is also allowing that person to get back into society and do what they want to do.
But that's what I'm saying. That, all right, because they are infractions, but they're minor infractions. This is what I'm saying. It's like, okay, the last one is this. Yeah, right. Riding dirt bikes.
They got a hard on for him. I agree.
Yeah, they do.
They have
like,
a hard on.
Riding a dirt bike in New York
But
City.
also remember the kid who stole the book bag that they locked him up in Rikers till like he finally got out and committed suicide
Yeah,
after
Khalid
getting
Browder.
So it's like it happens to a lot of people. So I guess the point he's making is that like, yeah, if you don't have the notoriety,
Yeah, if you don't
sometimes
have the- if
it
you don't
just
have the
eats you
money,
alive, right? You can't even.
I mean, even when Lil Wayne caught his charge up here for the gun charge, that's a 3.5 minimum mandatory sentence, and he only did a year, and that's due to him having the money to pay for that type of support. What I'm saying is that when you look at the infractions, like my dad was on probation, and he didn't get in no trouble from the time he caught his case, and they let him off. Like they let him off, early off probation because he wasn't getting in trouble.
Right.
Now, what I'm saying is that it's a lot of cases that are like that, and it's a lot that aren't. In Meek's case, for a person who has succeeded in life, right? Like you said, he's not only just a rapper, he's a fixture in his community. When you look at it in terms of Philadelphia, not just from a rap point, but the give backs he does.
And he
in
says
his
that, right?
community.
Like, I've
That's what I'm
done
saying.
so much for my community. How am I gonna go out like
all
this?
the shit he does in the community, or right now, like I was saying about him riding the dirt bike. Yeah, riding a dirt bike is a legal activity in New York with like a misdemeanor for the most part. Now, if you run over some shit that's reckless and dangerous, all that, but misdemeanor, he's wheeling a bike. In New York, they threw it out. And they was like, oh nah, got him again. Boom, we locking you up. So that can't be, like, for him to be who he is, that means like they have a bigger agenda. Well, she has a bigger agenda.
It's super personal. It's
super
crazy. This
personal.
like recording just makes it 100%
For the lawyer to say that?
factually, clear that it's just personal.
Hey, I wonder if Meek would have probably thought of this option. In 2014, I believe it was 2014 when he got back out. If they had offered him to say, hey, because I think he stayed like 8 months in jail, to be like, hey, listen, if you serve a year and a half, you're completely off probation. You know, Kodak Black, he's doing that now. He's pretty much he served like 8 or 7 months extra, and he's gonna be completely off probation.
Right.
So if he does mess up again, and what, to your point, I think I understand a little bit better now. Yeah, Meek, because he's a high-profile celebrity, if he jaywalks, somebody's gonna be on his ass, right? While other people could slip through the cracks as long as you're not convicted, number one, or it's some little things like if you're not Meek, you're probably not getting arrested for that, okay? You know what I mean? You might get a ticket, whatever. That probably doesn't even come up, right? But because you're Meek, now anything you do, and that's why I think he had to cut his crew down, because if you're in a group of people and there's a quote-unquote fight, you don't got to do nothing. Meek Mill and his crew in a brawl.
Word.
Now they're bringing that up in court. So, of course, yeah, there's a hard-on form, like somebody got a hard-on form, like just a system, because he got that name. And I think that's why he has to just move a little bit more, just carefully. But I'm wondering if he would have took that option, just to say, yo, I'd serve a couple more months, man, but get me the fuck off probation. 10 years, I can't be hitting people every time I want to travel. I got to submit itineraries for fucking 10 years.
But I
I'm
mean,
good.
and that's somewhat of a catch-22 as well, because at the same time, nobody wants to be in jail. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to be in jail, and he still has to make money, you know, to take care of his family. Like, he's the head of his household, and he has a son. You know what I mean? Like, he has a son that he's very much involved in his life. So it's kind of hard for somebody to say at the point that he's at in his career. Maybe very, very, very early on before he popped the way he did, maybe that would have been a feasible option. But man, if you used to eat in a certain way and live in a certain way, and you just want to get out of there, and again, at the detriment of his freedom, he has to be held accountable for a decision he made when he was 18. He never said, oh, I didn't get caught with a gun and none of that shit, but a decision he made when he was 18 years old. We still holding, this man is 31 years old. So you still holding him to that standard. How is that rehabilitation? No?
It's pretty terrible. I mean, on the other hand, you guys did mention Kodak. Things are looking a little bit better for him. I guess at least that's good. So he was supposed to come home in October, but it looks like he'll actually be out by mid-August. And like Ak said, he would be completely off probation. Now we know Kodak has been pretty focused, like on getting his GED, et cetera, et cetera. So to Wayno's point, that all seemed to help him out. So some good news for Kodak at least.
Yeah, that's dope that he's getting out. You know, does he still have other things pending?
Yeah, well, he has a pending sexual assault case in the Carolinas, but all of his, like, assault or, like...
All that shit in Florida.
All the drug stuff in Florida, that's done. So, he gets out. So the child endangerment stuff got thrown out. Some of the weapons charges that they gave him from the Instagram video, it basically came out to say, how could you even prove from that video that it was real and it was what you guys see. So a lot of that got thrown out. So once he gets out of jail, he's pretty much good. Just deal with that other case when he deals with it. But this is a good thing and hopefully a fresh start for Kodak.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, Kodak, to me, every time he gets locked up, he comes out and he has like he's like a new person, but it only lasts so long.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping it's gonna last longer because this is a new start. And if I'm reading some of his posts, and I think it's him actually posting. I think when you're locked up in Broward, like you get internet time where you could actually post. And if I'm reading his post carefully, sounds like he's been saying, yeah, I needed to cut people off around me. And that's usually a symbol or a signal from artists to say, yo, I need to move differently than how I used to move. Because a lot of times you get caught up in a bunch of stuff. You're the name, but you get caught up in a bunch of stuff based on the people you hang with, right? And of course, like, I was very happy that he got his GED. Now he's focusing, which, by the way, he's never been a dumb kid, despite the accent. I remember I FaceTime, seriously, people used to think he's like retarded, but I FaceTime him one day and no cap, he was reading. Like, he literally had like 4 or 5 books.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, he does. He's always been talking about like that he likes to read. And
yeah, because it comes out in his music. Like he looks up to Pac, and he sees how Pac was a poet, how he put words together. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, well, I guess you could as a rapper, but if you're gonna try to be a little bit poetic or trying to be very clever in putting words together.
Read books.
Yeah, you might still have that little Florida slur, man, but you gotta have at least a little vocabulary.
One of my favorite lines from Kodak is when he said, "Thank you, Lord, I'm here. I couldn't imagine this." Like, I hope that he could get his shit turned around, because like you said, like, he always comes home. Like, it's like he goes to jail, he does a little bit, he comes home, and then like he's doing okay, and then just starts wilding. You know what I mean? It starts wilding. So I hope he could turn it around, because in terms of like the newer generation of artists, he's at the forefront. Like, how many Florida artists are getting looks because of what Kodak Black did over the past 2-3 years?
Hey, I will say that Kodak Black he represents so much of Florida too, right? One thing I'll say in terms of his career, and this is why I think he gotta be out for, you know what I mean? Hopefully he doesn't go back in at all, but he gotta be out for a couple of years. Because this music career, I feel like it's kind of getting slowed up. It's only so much times you can put out an album and you're not here to promote it, and your label is just like throwing it out, you know what I mean? And just try to get a behind bars theme.
Yeah.
Because if you compare him to his peers, he was on the XXL list with Uzi, with 21 Savage, and Yachty. And while we don't have to look at it from a sales perspective, it looks like they're advancing their careers. This is their first one, this is their second one. Uzi's about to drop again. Yachty's just dropped, and he kind of bounced back, right? 21 Savage, he's in a great position at this point, right? His last project did amazing. So you look at Kodak to say, are you keeping up, or is your constant back and forth stints to jail just kind of like stunting your growth?
You made a good, like, what I want to touch on is like what you said about like the circle and shit, because I mean, jail has definitely held Kodak Black up, like, that's not even a secret. But as far as like your team and like going through this with managing artists and being around artists, a lot of the people you love, like the people that you love is gonna hurt you the first. You know, they gonna hurt you first. And the thing is that I know we come from the hood, and it's always great to make nothing into something and all of that. But at the same time, you know, you have all these people around you that they just hit the lotto. Like, being your friend is like just hitting the lotto. Like, I could do what I want. I could talk to people how I want. I could do whatever. And this shit is about professionalism. Like, I always tell artists, like, whenever you doing a deal, you should look at that shit in terms of how you would if you was buying a house, right? Like, you got to be careful with it. This is something that you're locking yourself into for years to come. So if you have certain dudes around you and they can't get with the program, get them the fuck up out of there.
But when you're saying that to young artists, are they usually pretty receptive, or do you have to sort of learn the hard way? Something bad happens and then you...
Unfortunately, in life, regardless to music, a lot of people got to get hurt to learn.
Right.
You know, in life, a lot of people got to get hurt to learn. But some of them are receptive. It depends on how they living. You know, it's a lot of artists that I meet that they may have like their mom or their dad in their life, but their homies is more influential to how they move and how they live. And then you got others that they've been through so much that they only just want to listen to a person who's done it. The biggest thing about it is that what do you want for yourself? Like, do you want to be hot for a year or two? Because they gonna forget about you. Like, this going to jail shit, you could be in jail for a year and then everybody's gonna move on. They're gonna forget about you. And if it's gonna affect your career and your man is not listening and it's like, yo, I'm trying to, I want you here with me, I need you here with me, but you're not trying to learn, you gotta fucking go. Because if I was working at Target, I wouldn't have you fucking sitting here all day doing nothing.
Yeah.
So you gotta get the fuck up out of here. And it's hard for a lot of dudes because they care about what somebody thinks. Oh, he ain't got him with him no more. So what? The fuck is he doing anyway? Like, music is a fraternity, and it's like a privileged position to be in. This the only shit where you, like 50 Cent used to say, you don't even gotta know how to spell the words that you writing, and you can make $1 million off of it.
That's facts.
So with knowing that shit, get your team tight.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, I always said that Kodak was too hood for the industry, and unfortunately, this is the point where you gotta choose, yo. If you gonna be a hood nigga, you ain't gonna get no business done. You gonna fuck up a lot of money that you could have gotten legitimately by your talent.
Right.
But if you're gonna be a rapper, you're gonna have to sacrifice some of those hood nigga shit you used to do.
Hey man,
you can't
see,
move around
see
like
Gucci, man. Gucci changed his whole
But it
fucking
took a while,
life.
and it took a good woman, right?
It
So
took a lot, and it
Kodak's
took a
still
lot
pretty
of hurt.
young. Yeah.
It took a lot of hurt because that meant like going to prison,
Yeah.
all of that
Time
shit.
lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a lot of hurt.
Hey Kodak, when you come home, let's start this book club. I've been wanting to. Like a rap book club, are you kidding? That would be so much fun.
That'd be
He's
crazy.
well read.
That'd be crazy.
Sorry, we have so much legal news today. Last one, I think. I promise. So, you know, Miami rappers, the City Girls, are featured on Drake's In My Feelings, huge #1 single for him. Now, JT was actually headed to prison on June 25th after being sentenced on felony identity theft charges. So, according to documents from The Blast, her attorney filed a motion requesting that the judge give her an extension, 30 days, so she could perform at the BET Awards. She didn't get the full 30, but she did get enough time to perform. So the motion reads, she can do her time knowing that upon her release, her group will be ready to start their second album and tour. So she's gonna serve 24 months, but this is pretty dope. So she got to perform, she got a huge look, gonna come home to some good things. Just a little bit of good news in the world, sort of.
Yeah, you know what I mean? The OVO cosign.
24 months? That's a long ass time.
I know, but I think
better than
originally
10
it was like
years.
10 years. Already
Yeah.
got reduced. So still not good
2
that she's
years.
going, but it's good that she at least got the
Man,
chance to
scamming don't
perform.
pay, man.
I
Yo,
didn't
I've been
know-
wondering, yo, how do they recruit people in scamming, man? Because, hey, I was reading the details of her, even her, like, I guess her charges or conviction, and she wasn't, like, scamming for no millions. It was, like, literally what all these New York chicks be doing. I'd be like, do y'all really risk that amount of time in jail for this
Are the
little
laws
amount of
just
cash?
tougher in Florida or something like that? I'm surprised the sentence
No,
is
no,
that long.
I think just universally, like, there's hella chicks from, I don't even mention them, but because they in jail right now.
You know,
but-
stop snitching, Act.
no, I'm telling you, they're locked up. Yo, every bad chick on Instagram from New York, they probably scam.
Oh, word?
okay? Dead serious.
I don't
All these
know
little
about all
models.
that. He has
I'm
all the
telling you.
information.
I know, right?
They're full. The only thing is, what else came on my stream? Yo,
She admitted this on your stream?
No, we actually exposed her on my stream. I mean,
Act.
hold her.
Whoa.
No, because she got locked up. We couldn't believe it was her. We're like, yo, why are you scamming? We can't, like, I can't get behind people who scamming, especially when you could serve so much years in jail. Okay, it's like called identity fraud or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was like, I think they said it was a couple $1,000s.
But they
you know
still
what I
make
mean?
it a felony charge. So I don't know if it's like there's a number
Depends on the
amount
money.
from.
I mean, grand larceny is, I think, 1,000. Petty larceny is under $1,000. Grand larceny is 1,000. So once you hit $1,000 mark, then you hit with a felony. You know,
Yikes.
so. And all that takes is 2 pair of shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously.
Stop with
But,
the
you know,
Yeezys, y'all.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is elite scamming right here. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's good to see that this young lady's gonna.
Come out with something to look forward to. Hopefully some momentum.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna front. 2 years is a long time in hip hop.
Yeah.
That's a long time, especially when you're new. Like when you're very, very new. Like I've seen Sean, right? Sean had
Shine.
at the peak of his career. I mean, dropped his album and went and did 10 years. My son was gonna be one of the next new guys, and ended up doing 7 years. Like prison holds people back. It holds their careers back. And you know, everybody, when you come home, you have to adjust. That's the biggest thing, is the adjustment. Because being in there, you know, a lot is gonna change you. But it's good that they got to point out all of the things that she had going on. I mean, myself, I've written letters for some of my friends for them to get like reduced sentences or to the
yeah?
probation office. Yeah, because I have a lot of friends that made certain decisions that hurt themselves, and if you're in a position to help them, yeah, like a lot of them work with me on a lot of different things. So that's dope that she's getting out one day.
Yeah, hopefully she gets out early. Maybe it ends up being like a Kodak situation.
This reminds me of the Migos, though. You know what I mean? The other two
Also,
got to
yeah.
hold it down. You know what I mean? While she's going to be in there for a little while. And, you know what I mean? I don't know if they're going to be as generous as the Migos was. The Migos says they were still, like, paying Offset for, like, every show.
The only tough thing about it is that
Which, that's love, by the way.
That's
they're a
family.
duo,
That's
right?
family love.
They're a duo. It's not like it's 3 of them.
Yeah.
It's a duo with the City Girls.
So
That's the
I don't know if she has music recorded
Yeah.
already, or if when she comes out she's gonna have to start from scratch. But
Hey man, the dudes at QC, they, you know what I mean? How would you say, the QC sweatshop? They know what they doing over there.
Yeah, QC know what they doing, man.
Yeah, they know what they doing. They gonna finesse this crazy.
y'all
Like,
out
they
here
know what
saying
they doing.
QC sweatshop, you got balls.
QC gonna hold us down, man. But like, I do believe that. First of all, I don't think she's doing 24 months. It'll probably be like a year or so. And I think the momentum that they have right now, which is I feel like people want to hear more. I think it'll continue by the time she gets out. So again, along with all the energy from QC, and imagining some more great music on the way, they'll be just fine. And also, rather you get this bullshit, because what happens, and Wayno knows this all too often, a lot of times people don't plan, oh, I'm gonna have success next year, so let me get my bullshit out of the way. Yeah. The bullshit comes once success. No, for real.
Yeah, no, sorry, it's just the way you said it.
No. Think about it. If Bobby Shmurda could have like served all the years and then got famous, he would have done it, right? But everything catches up when you're now famous, right? So, good thing is happening now. Get it behind you. And then when they come back, I believe they will be, I think they're going to have like a little run, yo. Because
hopefully.
I just hope.
They're representing a little demographic.
Yeah, I just hope, all these brothers and sisters with all these jail stories we have, they're all particular, but stop taking big risks for small results. Because when you look at the terms of like what they were risking as opposed to what they gotten back off of it, that shit is really not worth it. So stick with your craft. I know a lot of people, probably feel down when they're trying to make it happen because it's not happening as quick, and you got to pay them bills, you got to take care of moms and little brothers and cousins or whatever. Just stick it out.
Stay out of trouble.
Stay out of trouble.
Yeah, man, scamming life ain't the thing, man.
If you got any iPads, hit me up.
This guy.
Wait, what are you even doing with an iPad at this point?
Give it to my kids.
I don't really understand where it fits in the scheme of like a MacBook, giant ass phone.
No MacBook Pros?
I got a MacBook Pro.
Damn, man.
No, I didn't get one. Don't do that.
Hey, man.
Don't do that. See, look, he just shook me up. Investigation Act.
Wayno ain't got nothing in his house with a receipt, man. That's all I got to say. Wayno got a receipt for nothing in his crib.
Yeah, he is wearing the wire.
Oh, man. All right, so, Azealia Banks. All right, so we know that she recently appeared on Wild 'N Out. That didn't go well. She accused the cast of making colorist jokes against her, whatever that means. She cried, she lashed out at Nick Cannon and the whole cast, and then took it a step further. So Wendy Williams spoke about her on her show. She said, I don't know her, but she seems to be smart. Okay, yes. But angry, and anger seems to be her problem. I feel like, okay, cool. So Azealia, of course, took it all the way left. Oh my God, can Wendy Williams have another stroke on TV and finally drop dead? I would love to see her die on air. Wow. She also canceled her album Fantasy 2 after all of this. At this point, I don't know, Azealia.
Yo, can we remember how when Lil Xan, like, he said something about Pac, like, everybody jumped in and was like, yo, we got to ban this nigga. Can we ban her? Like, can we get her the fuck out of here? Because
they banned her from Twitter before. She's made another account.
Nah, man.
She had an Azealia a Banks account. They banned it. It was verified. Yeah. And then she just made another one called like XO Cheapy.
No, we got.
I'm serious.
No, we got to ban her. Like, that's very distasteful. Like, a lot of people have their ways they feel about Wendy Williams or whatever. But to say, I hope she dies, like, she got a kid. Yeah. She got a husband. That's crazy. Like, to wish death upon somebody, like she's playing with the universe in a way you don't get into.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be putting that type of energy out there. Plus,
because she lashes out at people all the time. Then you go on a show all about jokes and you cry when they what?
Out and cry. Like, yo, if you go on Wild 'N Out, if we was on Wild 'N Out, they're gonna joke on my hairline. They're gonna joke on your clothes.
My forehead.
They're gonna joke they're gonna joke on everything. It's like, you gotta be a good sport. How the fuck do you go on Wild 'N Out and say and cry?
And then say, what if I bring up Nick Cannon's lupus? What does that have to do with like the jokes on Wild 'N Out?
I hate to say this, but she's a fucking clown, and she needs to be banned, and she needs to be like just put away from everything music. Because since her song in like 2011, I've never heard nothing worth listening to. And that's on some G shit. I've never heard nothing worth listening to.
Azealia Banks, the more I hear her speak, Azealia Banks is upset with herself. And by the way, I love Wendy. I ain't gonna sit by with nobody wishing death on Wendy.
Okay,
Wendy's a legend. But back to Azealia Banks. Azealia Banks is just, she is upset about her lack of success. And when someone has deep-rooted issues with their lack of success or whatever that is, it's going to manifest with everyone. Yeah. And we see it, like, we see everyone she goes at. Anyone who's successful, she goes at.
Right.
Iggy Azalea, she made it a race issue. Why are you guys loving this quote-unquote non-talented white chick and I'm the talented? And this is what I like about her. she plays both sides of the coin, right? She says, hey, you guys are black. I am black. You guys should put me up on a pedestal, right? But you should do it at the detriment of other people, even though I have an attitude, even though, by the way, she dates like
Yeah,
white
she
guys.
everybody said she don't date black men.
She doesn't date black men. Also, she bleaches her skin. You know what I mean? So with her, it's like she wants this privilege that if she doesn't get, she lashes out. So she lashed out Iggy Azalea. She's been lashing out at Cardi B. You know why? She says Cardi B is Hispanic and Cardi B should not be getting this much support from the black community. You know why? Because she's black and she never got that much support.
I believe she's already
It's
Beyonce. Yeah,
it's bitterness. She even then, she was on the Nicki Minaj support train because she wanted to bring down Cardi B. And then she turned on Nicki. Why? Because she said, oh, Nicki is doing something that I've done before. And she's about to get recognition for it, but I really didn't get recognition for it when I did it. What is it? Nicki wore a fucking mermaid outfit in a video and rolled around on the beach.
Yo, I'm gonna keep it 100 Nadeska. You know what we gotta stop doing with these fucking rappers, these artists, period. They got fucking mental health issues. Like serious, because not just her, it's so many rappers and artists, not just rappers, but just artists, period, that we watch go through, like, I wouldn't even say midlife, because these motherfuckers be young. They go through identity crisis, where they don't know who they are, because they don't understand who they are or know where they're from or know where they're trying to go. And we just say they're switching up their style, or they're this or they're that, or they're artistic, and we say, no, they're fucking crazy and they need help. And I think that we gotta start taking that shit more serious, because those actions of anybody else in any other, like, professionalism, we're not saying, oh, you know, let's just wait for the song. No, fuck your song. Go get some help.
Yeah.
For her, she need help.
Don't know about like her team or like her family or the people around her and who can help, because there's nothing we can do from the outside looking in, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, even as it relates to the Wild 'N Out situation, Azealia Banks says some of the most vile things known to man about people, especially about other black people. She will make fun of your skin color. She'll call you ugly, big-lipped, everything in a book. Now we get to see you have all those little keyboard jokes and the little ones where you're talking with your hand over the camera. Bring your jokes to Wild 'N Out, where they just want to cook you.
Right.
And which is another thing that's so ironic. What set her off is because they called her unattractive. They called her ugly. Yeah. Yo, if we roasting each other, no one looks cute.
Right.
Everybody's ugly. Okay, that's just what it is. And she's upset that there were Caucasians laughing at her, and she felt like she was like it was a race thing. She makes it racial when it needs to be.
Oh my God.
But
she has fucking problems. Yo, that girl got fucking problems, because all of that shit, the people the shit that she says to other people is what is projected on her, and she never learned how to deal with it. This is just my assessment. I don't know this girl. I never met her in my life, but I'm just judging off the actions. For all the actions that she displays, it seems like she may have been, and she's not, honestly, I can honestly say that she's not a bad looking woman. You know what I mean? She's not a bad looking woman, but I think that she never learned how to love herself. And I think that she projects that shit on other people to make herself feel good in the confinement of wherever she's at. But once you get on a platform where the whole shit is joking and you can't take a fucking joke, that means that you really got some deep-rooted problems. And she need help, like, for real.
Hurt people. I remember listening to her retell the story of her and Russell Crowe and RZA and them being at a party and how she felt embarrassed, and like she got emotional while speaking about that, and that was just one of the episodes in her life that you could tell there's so much bitterness and resentment in the way she interprets it, which usually has a racial twist to it. I do believe there's some mental issues there. I used to really just roast the shit out of her and be like, she's a fucking idiot. I don't want to hear from her. But honestly, we are going to hear from her, because you know why? She has a fucking platform called social media, and she speaks on every single thing, and sometimes she has these little interesting takes. It's
gotta be on drugs, man.
It's just always seated in so much bitterness. And again, I believe she's been hurt, and that's why she just keeps dishing it out. But the thing is, she can't. You can't be able to dish it and not take it.
Yeah.
So I look at this and I said, Azealia, and this is what I'm saying, Azealia, cut it out. Like, just fall back. If you're not ready to be on a show like that, you know what it is. Nobody set you up. You just wasn't ready for those jokes.
Stop playing with your nose. She need to stop playing with her nose. These are the actions of a cokehead. I'm just keeping it all the way real.
But I think you might be right in mental. She's been doing this for a long time. So early in her career, I feel like she popped at the same time like the mob was coming out in New York, and like that could have been great synergy. But I remember her attacking Rocky from then.
I think she's done Alana too.
Alana too. An 8-ball or 3. Okay. She's on fucking drugs, dog. Yeah, she's on drugs and she has problems and she needs rehab. She needs to get some help because when you start, this is not the first time. It's like even with the Cardi B shit. Once she's singing Bodak Yellow, then she talking about some she's not even black. Is it Uchi Wally Wally or is it one mic? Make up your mind, fam. For real.
Wait, no.
She's on drugs, yo. Somebody help this girl.
Yeah, and also you can't go to a comedy show or like a show intended to roast you. There's no boundaries. According to her, she said, y'all could roast me y'all could call me a one-hit wonder, but don't roast me on being ugly. What?
We gonna call your ass ugly then, like, exactly.
We trying to get a reaction out of you. We want you to be hurt. That's what get the fucking ratings up.
Don't she? And she claims she from Harlem, right? I think she is from Harlem.
Yeah, no.
No, we got it. Nah, man, we got to sign. I'm gonna get a petition together. That's not my people. That's not my people.
Oh, yeah,
I'm from the
Wayno.
East Side. Not my people.
Oh, now you're separating East and West. All right.
East and West has always been separate, but it's the
Side?
same. She's not from what I know. But anyway, even if she is from the East Side, we need to get a fucking petition together to ban her from hip hop in Harlem. Send her away. Let's get this girl some help.
Oh, get someone to talk
some
to,
help.
man. Seriously, hopefully this
please.
doesn't
That's
end
enough
in
for her.
any-
I feel bad for her.
I don't. I think she just need to get some fucking help and stop feeling. Nobody gives a fuck. Stop feeling sorry for yourself and check yourself in. Stop playing with your nose. That's it. Stop playing with her fucking nose.
I don't know what she experienced in Harlem that could have had her
Something
this way.
traumatizing
It could be
in Harlem.
traumatizing.
No, she's the new era. She's playing with her fucking nose.
Oh my God. All right, y'all. I think that's our show for today, right? Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. If you have questions for us, we have some struggle exchange from last week, I believe, some good questions. If you have more, hit us on Twitter at everydaystruggle with 2 G's and DM us on Instagram. What's good?
Oh, we didn't get to do a Young Thug topic? The drip guard?
Yo, I've had this Young Thug topic on the rundown all week. We're gonna do it tomorrow. We're out of time.
Okay.
Don't worry, Ak. I got you.
All right, but and I'm gonna get on live and I'm gonna tell people. I'm gonna tell them, yo, listen, this is how you have to ask the question.
Send good questions.
Send good questions.
Oh no! Please. We'd love to see your faces. You guys are beautiful. But when you're asking questions, don't talk for 40 seconds and then ask a question for 5 seconds.
Right.
No shout outs. We don't care about your mixtape. We don't care about your little odd comments. Just ask the question.
Ask the question.
Simple. Ask the question.
Simple.
Okay? Ask the question.
All right, so send some questions and we'll feature them on the show tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Everyday Struggle.
Peace.